Hello and welcome. My name is Tristan Resistus, and today we're going to be playing some more SpaceX. Um, I'm also trying out some wireless in-ear headphones, which is where the things are gone. At the moment, I'm getting a weird sort of I don't know feedback, but it might be because I've set the monitoring up improperly. But yeah, we'll give them a go and we'll see how it goes. But yes, this morning. I ran the game for a little bit. I haven't really done anything other than kind of basically waited for logistics system to unlock. So we now have logistics chests, which means we can kind of start rebuilding this base and get it to start making things a bit more sort of, I guess, efficiently. Might be the wrong word for it, but I could start thinking about this as being a proper production hub and kind of getting on with it. In preparation for that, and I just realised I did not copy and paste that properly. Oh, and in fact, that's not paste. In fact, have I not got... Can I find one? No. So let's just copy and paste that. And that. Oh, I've missed a tiny little bit line for you. Okay. Yes, in preparation for that, I started to try and work out what other stations I need. There's a couple of ones I will definitely need. So blue circuits, which I can add on. It should have built some trains for me. Yeah, there we go. So what I'll do is rename that to... I can't, can I? Because I haven't made the blue circuits build. Ah. Okay. That's not going to work then. What else could I do then? So I guess batteries. Did batteries stay as 1? Yeah, 1, 2, 1. Become 1, 2, 1. So might as well get batteries up there. So we might have to go and build the blue circuit build first. Is the sort of thing. So that would be a train unload, battery unload, and we need you to do that. So you need to go. Where are they? Battery there. Load. Why is there not a... Oh, because it's missing... Okay. What are you lot waiting on? I bet this is because they were there when it sort of started. And also that signal seems to be ambiguous for some reason. In fact, they're all ambiguous. Is that because... Not sure what's going on there. Let's wander down. I got my link. So yes, might have to build some blue circuits before we go for the full-on rebuild. What I want to do though is kind of switch in, because we know we've got logistics chests and etc. Oops. So what I can simply do is do a bit of a copy paste of this, add that belt in. I'm going to delete the actual assembly machine then, and we can get it to start building the requesters once they're in. But yes, let's wander down. Well, I mean, the signal thing, it's probably because, you know, I was adding signals while trains are on the move, sort of thing, so they might have sort of got trapped. But equally, it could be some problem with the signalling, because this is not the best signalled system. should be better with more. I'm probably going to make it effectively like just no entry for anything, but and in fact some of them do just need to be one way, don't they? One, you know, one direction entry. Why would you be ambiguous? Cannot divide segments. Guess that's because it doesn't. Not entirely sure what the problem is. Cannot divide segments. Oops. That's not good. Why would that not have fuel in it? And where are you trying to go anyway? Let's just move you forward manually. I mean, why you stop there? Because you're trying to get all the way down. Okay. I'm effectively going to make this like entirely blocked, aren't I? But all we've got at the end here is trains that kind of either, you know, want to pass through or not. There's no stuff after that, so I don't think that's too much of a problem. But yeah, I'm slightly puzzled by those signals aren't working. In. You can get deeper. Yeah, I probably need to rethink some of this, but oh, why have you got damaged? That's odd. Could be that I accidentally shot it or something. Get it? Yeah, some of these don't need to be, you know, by proper T-junctions basically. So it won't be helping having all those extra signals essentially. Stick it in there. Whoa! Very quick the trains now. Yeah, so hopefully that's kind of turned this all into one effectively blocked section, essentially. It might be better, actually. Take them out. And I think that pipe is an artifact of copying and pasting. Right, that's dark, isn't it? Okay. I did also, I think, figure out the train that was I accidentally drove through. I think it was an iron train. Like that one, because that's dropping off petroleum, and petroleum is literally there. So it's never going to go past that. So don't really need that to be a T-junction. But I can sort that out at other times. The idea, basically, what I'm going to try and do, I think, is essentially replace all of the... You know, I've not built them yet. So, well, actually, I could do that bit, because I have built them. So if we replace the steel chests with storage chests, we can automatically get everything switched over to being available for bot logistics without disrupting the existing base, basically. What I do need to do is fix this and put these in. Yeah, I did mostly take out the coal. It's like a mixed one, missed one. Not sure why I'm messing the words up today. In fact, I missed loads. Yep. I mean, that's going to be a risk from doing the logistics bot base, because it's the logistics bots that crash, basically. Is it still going? Don't appear to have filled any chests up or anything. Well, that says it's... But then that... Why is that not transferring? Oh, it would be 25k, wouldn't it? Because... It's block. It's 50, not 100. Right, so, yes. Let's go and... What about with that? Something complaining about not being... No? Okay. Right, so, where are you? You want to make... requesters? And then you want to make... What else ones do I want? I guess... None of them in a sense. It's just requesters and storage that kind of matter. I guess we could get it making a few buffers, maybe. No, actually, let's swap it to storage. That. Just that. Just pop that to nice and big. So we've got some of them anyway. Right, so let's get on with this. I mean, there are things here we can just deconstruct. Without any particular problems. I might do a filtered. Yeah, if I do something that excludes. I don't remember where power stuff is. I don't think I built any then, but anyway. Yeah, so it blacklists those. Yeah, so that'll let us take out everything else. Yeah. Yep, power poles are left. Cool. That. So I'm sort of anticipating. I think actually I might put well, quite lively. We put some more of these, and then there's plenty of room. Where do I want to put some? Fit as a block there. Not that that matters, but just a couple in there. That one I got wrong. And then, well, put one there, but don't have any coverage. However, we don't really need this, do we? I'm trying to be a little bit cautious because there are things that I'm making that it wouldn't be worth deleting until there's some kind of replacement there. So like all the belts, for example, we should keep the repair packs. Inserters we should keep hanging around. We might as well with lights. Fine without circuits. Really. Boilers, they can go. Escan miners. Am I putting them in a chest or anything? I'm not, am I? They're just literally coming in here. Again, rails is fine not to have. Cyclists can go. Crushers or whatever they're called. Oh, that's off. Those are going on a belt, so we'll keep them for a little while longer. Pumps, maybe worth having. Core miners. Nope, we can rebuild them. Fuel plants and labs and etc. Go. Guess we should keep the assemblers for now. Rail bits. Let's keep them hanging about. Engines are an intermediate. So I could. No, let's leave the chests, power poles, concrete. Don't know yet. Chest is fine. Roboports delete. Delete. Any of this because it's all defunct anyway. That pipe's dead because we're feeding in petroleum elsewhere. The fuel on the rocket, I guess, we actually have this. They'll be flashing down here. Unfortunately, my base I ran got hit by a meteorite where it apparently doesn't have enough coverage because it's got the things, but I guess more than were able to be killed by that came in, and it's caused sufficient damage that these are actually dead. Basically, some of these. I think it's, well, as you can see, it's not functioning, basically. So that's because the power pole has been taken out, I think. But there's no repair packs here, which I don't know how that's happened. I don't know how I've not left repair packs. But yeah, so we know we're getting red circuits being dropped off. So I think I'm happy to get rid of them. And the low density structures. They're a prime candidate for going on a rocket. I think I'll get rid of this landfill because we've got the other landfills. I'm going to train it in. We've got bots here, but these are not working anyway because they don't have the big engines. Because the big engines like glue, so might as well just get rid of that then. Because we're not going to make glue. We're not going to make glue. I mean, we're going to make loot, but we're not making loot, I should say. It's all sort of irrelevant. I think it's both of them, isn't it? Because we've not got any robot engines at all. So, prime candidate for a thing to just rebuild. I might leave it so that I can do the copying the logic on it. We'll leave that there and leave that there. I think they're kind of defunct. The nuclear stuff, yeah, we will get rid of that. Walls, flamethrower turrets, yeah, they can go. So we will be replacing it all. I'm going to leave the artillery. Yeah. Both keeping around. And that's for mines. This was an extra bit of glass production, wasn't it? I guess we could leave that. The barreling we'll just leave, although as I say, I think a lot of it's defunct. The shooty bangs we will leave. These are cargo, these are rocket components, aren't they? So I'll leave them. Right, what's going on here? This is the whatchamacallit support, isn't it? So I think actually I can get rid of that. And that. Yeah, I can get rid of kind of all of this part of it. I believe. But I'll leave the processing thing. Blue circuits, I guess we'll leave since it turns out we've not got them. Modules, though, we'll get rid of. What we should actually do is add on robo ports, which of course are... No, can't see them. Oh look, that thing looks like Narco Link storage. That looks like the artwork on the Pogora, the alien base stuff. What? I'll get rid of the LCUs, I think. By doing that, I imagine I'm leaving something redundant. Or making something redundant. I think I need to keep them, because, yeah. Okay, get that. Oh, this can go. I mean, that's been completely replaced, hasn't it? Got an entire... It's a base thing for that. They can go, because we know we've got a thing. Do I have... I never built the drop-off station, did I? So I can't technically build any more solar, but then I coped, you know, ridiculously well with the last coronal mass ejection, so I won't worry about when that happens. We know we've got batteries available. That's all dead because of no fuel anyway. No fuel, no oil. Plastic, let's just leave the plastic. Grenades we can get rid of, and this walls and all that stuff, I think. It's fine to just go. These are kind of intermediates, we don't really need wooden power bars, I wouldn't have thought. Cool, okay, so that gives it lots of stuff to deconstruct. I think I'm also going to take out this kind of... I'm going to take out all of it though. No, let's leave that. Cool. So it basically gives the bots something to be busy with. Working away. I would like to keep this pyro thing. Was I able to pump that down? How much are these for? Let's pump what's available here. Put a thing in like that. that. That up. It should squeeze out the last bit of fluid there. Check at least tidy that up. See, why does that say it's got some left in it? This is what. It's weird about that. Fluid mechanics. Right. Just careful. Cool. So, yes, indeed. I'm thinking maybe I sort of, because what I am wondering is maybe I do belt some stuff over, you know, not just totally rely on bots. Maybe do bots for, you know, some bits and pieces, but is that worth doing? I don't know. What I think I will do though is we'll put some power poles down. Kind of landfill all of this here. Speaking, although, because for the water for that is, oh, it's from that tiny little pond there. Okay, so we can put some. Oops. Put some red pots around here. So. Landfill over that. You got a landfill of this as well. Oops. Right. That one's ever slightly out of range, isn't it? Maybe. Stick an extra one in. Just attach it to that. Okay, so I guess the other thing we could do. So clear out trees and rocks. Because what I'm thinking is I might go and build the blue science, basically. Science. The blue prepare. I'll get my words right in a minute. The blue circuits, basically. What are areas that don't have? I mean, that's become isolated somehow. So I need one there anyway. Just wondering where I need to put some more robot ports. There's kind of full and complete coverage. So maybe just to kind of get them to tidy it up, essentially. tidy most of it up anyway, don't we? In fact, maybe a radar on there as well. Surprised I haven't added one here actually. Let's take you off. Okay, now where would be a good place to build electronic circuits? I keep saying that. I mean the processing units anyway, not even circuits. Guess what do they need? They need acid, don't they? Green and red. So we do have the green and red here. I am intending to expand all of this. I'm not going to want to use too much extra around here because this is where the depot is anyway. So perhaps we do build here. Maybe take a branch off and do something around there, maybe. Yeah, okay. So what would I need to do that? I need assemblers, inserters, belt, trains. Need more rail, I think. Let's pop that to 500 or so. How much of this did I cover with the construction plan as well? Not enough. Have you brought me? Yes, you have. Let's get that. Now, tank. Cool. Went and got an eye test yesterday. Turns out, because I had been getting some eye strain, and it turns out I now need reading glasses as well. So technically that's 3 sets of glasses. So I'm basically blind at long distance, middle distance, and near distance. So basically I'm blind. I kind of went through the options. I was like, I don't think I can manage 3 pairs of glasses. I struggle enough with having 2. Having to carry around 2 extra sets of glasses. Now you can get varifocals which do like all of them, so they're all in one, but I don't know, I'm a little nervous that I'll hate any kind of varifocal or bifocal or anything. Just not really. If I've not built blue circuits, then how am I making... Oh, they don't need them. Okay. Yeah, that I'll hate varifocals. So what I'm going to get instead is... They call them something like workman glasses or something like that. Which I don't really quite understand what that means. But they're combined middle... What they call middle distance. It's not actually middle. It's like the screen. And reading glasses, which are properly close up. So they will have a bit at the bottom that's reading, and the rest is the screen. So hopefully I'll get on with them. And if I don't mind that, then possibly I can get some proper varifocals next time. But as I say, I'm kind of therefore think of it more of an experiment. Say, feels like a little bit of a risk in a sense. So, I need 3 tanks to drop off, one of which is sulfuric acid. So maybe I have them drop off on that side, and then actually build the blue on this side. Kind of depends a bit on Let's get the boss to clear out these trees. I might turn them off and just ghost it in and see how big it is if I did do it downwards. Because you'd need very little sulfuric acid, don't you? 5 per blue circuit. So. So if we said maybe there's that, and then this is the... In fact, it wouldn't be like that, but it would probably be something different. So if I make it that... So if this is the pickup blue circuits, then we know that it's not going to be that long anyway. So I need to start doing them as chopped off versions. And then we're going to have... Well, actually that shouldn't be that junction, should it? I'm doing it that way. Because it would be more like that. And then I'm proposing that we have iron, copper. That would actually be sulfuric acid. And then so that would be a full one. But these would end up as 2 shorter ones. With those, I can fiddle with the signals to make them work. Load, yeah. That makes some sense. And then we could just have the blue build in here and they try and take it downwards, basically. Okay. Excuse me. So if the loading... Loady. Let's do... let's do a load 6, but I'll end up heavily restricting it. So if we want the blue circuits there, do we want to try for a... Because I've not actually... I mean, I'm building them. But I mean, what was actually... Unfortunately, I've deleted it, haven't I? What were my blue circuit? Oh no, I'd left it. So what were they being used for? Some of this fancy stuff here. Some of them. Whatever was here. So nuclear stuff. So it's actually fairly low volume. Okay. If we were to try and... Probably have to move this so I can line it up a bit, but if we were to have two circuits there, and then bottom maybe? Because the difficulty with blue circuits is the feeding them with green. So what does that look like in terms of... Do I not have the rate calculator? Oh, I do. So what? Let's explore. I mean, given I got those two, I don't really need those, do I? So if that's in terms of a belt, because it would be half a yellow belt, it's like our maximum. So yeah, 1.4 transport belts. I could always put them down the outside still. Difficulty is always then getting the actual acid in. At what point does it become... Is it only... 8 of a belt... 6.4 of a belt... Wait. Yeah. So 6 machines is half a belt of green. Okay. So we'd need... Imagine there's a bacon there. Some bacon there. So, extra room. Oh, I don't really if I'm doing it that way. So I don't have to back out. It can just be. But might as well use the space if we've got it. Gosh. In fact, let's get the bots to fill this bit in. Put down. Whenever there are bacons. And having said I would do a downward build, actually building sideways, aren't I? Because you need a lot of rows of these. And that's only using up a belt's worth of... Because if we assume it can drop off 2, I don't think that's unreasonable. It's obviously a 1-2-1 train now. But if it can drop off 2 belts worth, I think reasonable throughput. It means we need 4 of those. So let's flip it round. Here maybe, for the sake of argument. No. All botted and etc. So let's turn that off. Not botted, module. So yeah, just under 2 belts needed coming in, and sort of a 1/10 of a belt coming out. That's fine for now. So let's see where we need to put that to line it up nicely. If we say, let's flip it around. So the that around. That around. And say grade. Grade. So if we make that green circuit unload. Quickly bulb. It is red circuit unload. So I can use some of these trains now. They should have a blueprint for some more. So let's say that. And make this A. Oh, that was the battery one. Oh, yeah. Did I ever fix that? Yeah, I did. So we can put. Okay. Okay. So 4, 20. What about you? You can be a load. But I don't think we actually have a green circuit unload yet. Oh, we do. It can't reach it though. I guess because it's only because it's like dedicated for the sciences, and it just belts it over for the red. So don't know that I've got just a green circuit unload. I would have thought over in the thing. Guess not. You know, in the production hub area. Go 2, so 184. Can you see? And then he can be red. That. So let's pop some replacements in. And then we want the depot 4, which is where's me acid again? So let them build that in. This is the problem I was talking about the other day, where it's why I don't do depots like in the normal playthroughs, because you end up with a timing weirdness where essentially all of your trains kind of try and come there at the same time. So you end up with this traffic jam that kind of slows your whole system down. I'm wondering, I mean, is that going to... I thought I'd put 6 in first, but... See. Yeah, would be a nice place for the undies to be. In fact, should I combine them up here? No, because we need 2 full lanes of green, don't we? So let's go with boop, boop, boop. That's perfect. Balanced. Oh. Okay, so the actual good position for these. Guess you want to split that off. I'm wondering about lane balancing it. Should be a problem really for green, but it might be for the red. So, say you come down. So the first 2 lanes. So we'll split off that one. Okay. Second arrangements. Okay. Cool. So let's move that to there, but we don't want it that close. So we can squeeze in some bacon. You there? Oh, hello, Sana. Finished watching your first speculation video. Alright, what did you think? Didn't want to scale the old side effects for the dynamic resource mention. I sure hope it's true. Dynamic resource, which one was that? The... Which video are you talking about? The, resource. That's my video, and I don't even know what that is. Dynamic resource. Grab that. Gosh. Oops. Okay. So let's do some of this. Confused. Maybe got a animated resource. Oh, the algae. Yeah. The yeah. I mean, say it was mentioned in the Erendel said it basically. It was I'm pretty sure it was one of the Volcanus ones, so one of those two. And he said it was just like a dropped, like a in brackets basically, and he sort of said, yes, we can have animated resources now, and I think he was specifically referring to the lava. But it's like, well, again, when I do these, speculation videos, a lot of it is around just things that they say that are like, well, why would you say it like that? And the reason I usually extrapolate over to is that it's because it's, they're not wanting to say something untrue because it's more complicated than that, if you see what I mean. So that's where I tend to get a lot of the ideas from, but it's also where I get into trouble because I'm then going, oh, well, they said this, and it's they're not how to put it. I don't want to sound offensive, but they're not there because of their English skills, if you see what I mean. They're there because they're programmers and game designers and artists and that sort of thing. So it could easily just be that they phrased it badly and they weren't really thinking about some idiot like me coming along and over-analysing it, sort of thing. So I then get into a little bit of trouble because a few of the devs do watch my videos, which is really nice, but they'll then chip in and go, no, it's that's not true. But yeah, it's I also tend to be a bit freeform in how I think about them, so I just almost it's not improv, but I sort of just make them up as I go along. A few people pointed out that I said some silly stuff in the most recent one on the rocket turrets, because I was like, well, maybe they round the range up. And it's like, well, why would they need to bother rounding the range up? It doesn't matter that it's a decimal. It sounds very interesting, and I saw someone else mention something similar a couple of months ago. All right, cool. As a pure guess, could it be combined with the new RTS tool, perhaps? Maybe, yeah, that'd be good. I'm sort of hoping, and it's maybe why they've started talking about the combat stuff, that maybe they have been doing a bit more of a serious overhaul on the military side of things. That it is more than just kind of, in quotes, simple, addition, as it were. That they're actually going back and kind of revisiting some of the ideas, because I don't know, they sort of put all this work in to coming up with cool stuff like whatchamacallit, combat robots and all this sort of stuff, and then they're all basically rubbish. They're not rubbish, that's a bad way of putting it, but they're all basically pointless. There's no... If you're playing with, combat robots, you're probably doing it just because you want to, rather than, it being any kind of optimal solution. It's an awful lot of work to go through to build, significant or worthwhile volumes of combat robots when they last 2 minutes. It's sort of a, I think the last time I built one was literally to get the achievement about having, what was it, 100 followers. It's basically the only reason I've ever built combat robots. And I'm sure you can, there's ways of using them, I'm sure, that are fine, sort of thing, but turret creep is just so effective. But it's like, well, why bother? But yeah, kind of combine it with the RTS tool. Hopefully, I think I said when they announced they'd called it that, it was like, well, why call it an RTS? And that's again, it's the exact same point I'm making. If all you're doing is changing the Spidertron remote, then just call it the Spidertron remote. Still, it doesn't. It wasn't a bad name. But if you're completely overhauling how you do combat, especially in light of the fact that they now need to build it so that you can manage valid strange such position. What? Oh, I guess it's something to do with the signals on that. But yeah, if you're trying to set up the game so that someone can completely and totally operate their base remotely, then I'm assuming maybe they don't, I guess. But something like a rocket turret, I was assuming would need to be powered, in the same way lasers do. It would seem a bit OP if it doesn't need powering. Because obviously gun turrets don't need power. Somehow. One of the game's miracles. But yes, why overhaul? Why change the name to RTS if all it is still the Spidertron? Tends to suggest that it isn't the Spidertron. It's used for more stuff. And yeah, I did wonder if maybe the reason they talked about rocket turrets is because there is a big overhaul of combat coming, and it's like, well, oh, hello train, how are you? Hope you're well. You're not going to get anything to happen there, really, mate. Oh, and I didn't put the signals in, so... Well, it's valid now, though, isn't it? Right, so we want another one. That... Oh, does it not have a limit? Manual. I didn't properly overhaul the thingy, did I? And you can now be depot. Connected. Exactly, the name suggests at the very least I expect some new unit to control with it, whatever that unit is for. It does really mention that some speculative fuels was not happening. Have they said anything's not? Well, they said I've got things wrong in a sense, or I've misunderstood things. I can't remember what though. I think it's more that I've said something that the Friday Facts doesn't actually say. I've misinterpreted that. And then, as I say, a lot of these videos I just go off on a wild flight of fantasy based on something. So if I've said something fundamental is wrong, and then I've turned that into some big theory about, well, this is going to happen or what have you, then effectively they're saying that... I suppose, in a sense, they're not saying that what I said wasn't going to happen. But obviously, if it's based on something I've just misunderstood, then it's probably not going to happen, is it? So I think it's more that memory. But I couldn't give you any specific examples, so maybe it hasn't been that extreme. But yeah, I don't recall. Oh, no path. I don't remember any of them specifically sort of saying, that's completely wrong, as it were. But there have been things that I've basically misinterpreted what it said in the Friday Facts. I've gone off on some fantasy. Which is kind of the purpose of the videos, that's the whole point of it, is just to have fun. Thinking up mad ideas and stuff. And if some of them turn out to be true, it's just a bonus, really. Right, let's kill them trees. I've dismissed them. So, I do need to do an actual blue skirkets train. I don't think that exists. Did I say this is anything? So, I'm going to go to load. We don't have an unload. Did I not actually rename this thing? Oh no, it's because I was copying it, wasn't I? I was like, oh, it doesn't exist. And I didn't actually rename it. Doodle-doodle-doo. So that's load. Yeah. That's on you. No. And activity. Cool. You need them. And that should be set to 800, I think it is. Cool. No. Oh, it's not. Nice. Make it back on it. Let's just put this in. Oh, still not bad. It's a bit ugly, isn't it? Let's put that in. Okay, so let's connect there. I see that as well. Gotta be some unloading. Let's load. Okay. Unfortunately, I'll probably see if I've changed the station. I bet one of them's set off coming in. Oh well. Looks like they unloaded anyway, so. I don't know mad ideas, but I doubt the part about the engineer going home in a proper spaceship. Yeah, it's, it doesn't make sense having a game where it plays infinitely. You know, the real game. I mean, I think it even says it on the when you start up a sandbox thing. It's sort of like it says something about how, or when you start the campaign or something, it says, you know, that sandbox is like the real way to play, basically, or how it's intended or something like that. Maybe it doesn't say in game, but yeah, I mean that's what you're meant to do. You're meant to play the sandbox, infinite game. So then having, you know, that would be a train. Having a mechanism that is basically like, oh, now you're finished, off you go, that's it. Doesn't really make sense, does it? So no, I sort of doubt that one, but yeah, I mean, I still think there'll be something, some mega structure that we build. I still think that's a good idea, basically. Why have you stopped? Oh, you're not stopped, you're just working. Okay. Yeah, still think that's a good concept that we might get, but it's just it won't be. Did I? Not. Where's the one around? It'll be that the mega structure is, you know, how you do the infinite science. Basically, the idea that like I put in the science speculation video, where there's a 12th science pack, and then you essentially have to turn that into. Well, that's how you get your equivalent of space science in Space Age. And it'll be the mega structure or the big build or whatever you build on Aquila will be some component. A bit like this, where to get the orange science, the space science, you still have to launch the satellites. So I just think it'll be a big version of that. It'll be some. Where the heck is it? Over here. So to get these, you got to feed it other stuff, but you basically got to launch satellites. So that's that's like winning the game repeatedly over and over again. It's it's that scale of task. And I think that's what you'll build on Aquilo, or in orbit around Aquilo or something like that. And that's how you get the thing. And the sort of naming of it will be interstellar communicator or something like that, because the idea will be you sort of you're trying to phone home basically, get picked up. But it's infinite, because you just have to keep sending signals out saying, SOS type of thing. And as a side product, you get this science. How do you like the bi-directional train setup? I went too hardcore on the single second differences in reaching max speed while I saved getting optimized load and load stations. Got annoyingly big as well. Oh, right, okay. I prefer bi-directional. I'm not a big fan. When I started playing, roundabouts were just like an absolute no-no. So when you have any kind of single directional thing, I have seen people, and there's someone I play multiplayer with, and he does a thing where it basically pulls out. Although he's a bi-directional as well anyway, so imagine there's a station sort of there. And these are all sorts of things I hadn't really thought about, because my brain doesn't quite work. But you can sort of pull out and use, so if it's a single directional train, you can use a second stop, navigate, essentially use it to turn around. But of course you can do, which is another way of doing things, and that sort of idea is the sort of stuff it never occurs to me. So for me, it was always, well, you have to basically turn around, which means doing a loop. Oops. And of course, then your trains are passing back through the same station, and slow and horrible, and that's the type of thing I would do, and it's not actually a very good solution. And so I would go, well, why not? I'll just do bi-directional trains. Also, to me, they look like, certainly how we do trains in the UK, on UK tracks. I don't know about anywhere else, but bi-directional trains are what we run on our rail system. Because basically the trains, so if you imagine this is London, essentially, almost all of our train network goes to London and out. So effectively, if that's London, then it has one loco on one end and one loco on the other, and it's that one that takes it to London and that one that takes it back. So you basically see the driver drives when they get there, assuming the driver's going back as well, and he's not finished his shift. The driver will basically walk through the carriage and go and sit in the other locomotive. I think a lot of our freight is done single-headed trains, but yeah, I tend to use bi-directional just because I sort of prefer it. And as I say, roundabouts are an absolute. What I used to have when I had single, what I always used to find, so we'd put lots of roundabouts in, and they did fix it. It doesn't. I don't believe it does it now. But you'd have trains that would try and go through stations, So you'd have a station, you know, on your thing. The train would be there, queued up, and then because of some weird pathing that it had decided, because it's gone round a roundabout, and then passing through this station is somehow was the quickest path, you'd see these other trains queued up behind them. And this is like a siding or something like that, you know, however you've done your single directional. And just because there was like a train here when it did the pathing, it's then decided, right, well, I'll go through this station instead. And so you'd have these trains queued up behind other trains. And it's like, why have you done that? Like I said, they have fixed all that. It doesn't do it anymore, but I'm just in, you know, habits, basically. I notice this isn't really coming out at full whack. Is that because of stuff on there? Because you output on that. Yeah. It's just the trains need to. Oh, those need to be tin, don't we? Yeah, the bidirectional ones just seem so nice to me now. It's ironic, actually, because I say, when I started playing, you know, roundabouts were just this nightmare that, you know, just avoid at all costs. And everyone seems to be a big fan of the whole city blocks. And basically, every city block is a roundabout. Essentially, you're basically building in the middle of roundabouts. And so to me, it's like, because of my old brain, an old way of thinking about the train networks, it's like that's just the worst idea you could possibly have. I say, you know, they fixed all the logic and made it efficient, but yeah, to me, it's a really bad, you know, concept to build in the middle of a roundabout. That's just asking for trouble in my head. Cool. So that gets us a blue circuit build, and eventually, when it's done, you know, it might produce some. What we could do is kind of upgrade the belts to make it a bit quicker and that. The idea was to kind of have beacons, but not got beacons properly yet, I don't think. No, because I've not done. Effect transmission is different. And of course it's these wide area beacons and stuff. You have the basic beacon. 8 module slots at 50% transmission for maximum module power. 4 basic module beacons affecting the same entity will overload it and prevent it from low power draw. Excuse me. So yeah, so we've not actually got to that yet. We would need to be doing, what should we call it, Vulcanite. Now, let's go back home. See what they've managed to do. Ooh, that's right. Oh, that was some pipe. I didn't realise there was there. Okay. Yeah, this is basically like Traffic Jam City it is now because of this depot thing. But yeah, see how it all works out. So they finished, which is good. Oh, and also they've filled this in. Okay, that is good. So we have blue circuits available. We have, well, there we have batteries available. Low density structures. I have a build for that, don't I? So we could add them on. Right. And then we could these to load. David. So that's them already done. I don't know if I need what do we call it. What I do know though is that if we're going to make concrete, which we do need for several of the machines, then we will need iron ore. Did I not add on? I thought I added on heavy oil, but I guess not. Yeah, guess not. Okay, let's pop in a copy of this thing. It's getting pretty funky with the junctions and stuff, isn't it? Yes, so I need to build that one, and then I need to add on extra bits and bobs to turn this one to a 4, so we can unload some iron ore, assuming there is iron ore available, which is not guaranteed. Destination full. Full. Trainee. What's the 2? That's before. Is that a depot? What's a depot 4? So I could put that's that. Yeah, because this is the coal mining thing. Oh, what are you waiting for? Oh, of course, that doesn't have... I wonder how many trains were assigned to that too. That should be okay. Doesn't have any waiting capacity because I've already done it. Ah, right. So that'll get us heavy because we need heavy for lube. And did I do that? So I did not add on. Oh, that's a thingy one anyway, isn't it? It's not the right one. It's a uranium one. So we need a cargo. And you're not going to fit now, are you? Brilliant. Okay, fine. So cargo one, fluid one. That'd be interesting if train comes through. How quick is this anyway? Right, is it? It's fine. Well, I guess the maths is based on higher levels of modules, so... So petroleum's lacking, but say these are based on having higher levels of modules, I think. Which is why it's full up of the other two. Plus, of course, we're not really using these either. So it's not sort of flowing properly. We're not using them yet, anyway. Right, so got coal then. Well, got iron ore. And that's loading up. How much fuel are they going here? 25. Yeah. Right, so you need to go to there, there, there. Activity. Oh. Does it have wagons, I'm wondering? It seems to be taking a while, so maybe I'm not actually building them anywhere. If I do that, then I'll dump out into my thing. Have you tried Foundry? I kind of like it, and it seems to have a place along with the other factory games. No, not properly, no. I did play the demo that they issued during, was it Steam Next Fest? Something like that. It was a little while ago. And I just realised I never adjusted the camera position. Microphone. Yeah, I tried it during this demo that they did in Steam Next Fest, and it seemed interesting. It's quite heavily sort of, or a bit closer to Minecraft, isn't it, than the thing? But I don't know. I saw Nilhouse has been doing some videos on it, so I was going to check them out and see if see what it looks like, because it didn't look all that complicated in the next demo, but then of course it wouldn't be. They wouldn't put everything in the demo, so I'm sure there was a lot to it. So what would you say is its unique sort of, or you know, what makes it a bit different, interesting, etc., etc. So did I send the other one as well? I did, didn't I? So you need to go where? The heavy? And I obviously haven't put the... Oh, I don't need to do that, do I? Because this train is just sat here. Yeah, that doesn't have a drop-off. So actually that train... Trouble is, it often picks the station as well. Yeah, a bit of track as well. Yeah, so what I actually need to do, is tell this to drop off. Yeah, has it not got a name? I get confused now. Oh yes, of course it's batteries, isn't it? So that's where I got. So you do empty auto. Cool. I suppose actually these do need to be, quite a few of these do need to be, because the depot is that way. So even if what they're picking up is over here, you've still got to go that way to get to the depot, or come back from the depot. Or do they? I guess they don't really, because as long as I make sure I put the fill up. I'll have to think about that. Right, so I've added on that. And it's unloading it. We've added on that. And the others we need to work out. Apart from landfill, which we'll put a station on. Well, oh, okay. Getting a lot of biter activity. Oh yeah, they've populated. Sort this biter problem out. Come back in force, haven't we? But I've not got too much artillery left now. That one's out now. The scaling is a bit different because they have some grand features when it comes to mining and perhaps also transportation. The modular huge buildings are scaled up versions of the tiny ones you build at the start. Oh, that's interesting. Also, the mining seems to be done in 3 tiers. Okay. I think only 2 are in at the game. Oh, is it it's early access job, is it? Also, of course, the voxel-based world and having mines actually deep in the ground is a nice touch. The elevator was very limited in its throughput. Okay. So you actually have to dig down and find the resources, basically. Because they were just in the on the surface of the demo. Did I ever disconnect them? Yes, I did. Yes, how are we doing? For a stream that's about building a Make Everything hub, we're not making much progress on our Make Everything hub, are we? I might just have to bite the bullet and just disconnect everything. You know, just tear it all up. Have to be careful because of these. I guess what I could do is increase the storage on. And there's loads on the belt, isn't there? So I could pull these up, these feed lines, and it will keep running for a while. The other alternative is if maybe I'd start building here. So because this is quite a big space. And if I need more room, I can go that way then. Yeah, I quite like that idea, actually. So how might we, if we said, where's a good line to go up? So if we say, we go up that way. Ooh. Not sure if that'll be connected or not. And then we put roboports in that. On that, but then say, yeah, some small veins are on the surface, but most are deep down. Okay. Then there are the enormous veins that are specific drill spots where you mine it another way. Then there is the highest tier of mining, which is cracking that basically makes the ore deposit infinite. You can use it on depleted deposits. Remember correctly. Yeah, right, cool. Is there one more? Right. Just copy that other radars. No, that was better. Up here again. I don't know. Will you just leave my robots alone? It's the pollution thing, basically, because of running out of artillery. It's these guys that are sending attacks. Guess we could nip over there and chuck some more ammo in it. While they work on building this for me. Clearing it out. Let's do that. Oh, where's my tank gone? Oh, it's up there. Yeah, it sounds interesting. They've been updating Tectonica as well. I'd quite like to give that another spin. Just fill the tank. Because that had a similar sort of thing of actually mining the veins, you know, like physically. Unlike sort of, you know, Satisfactory where it's... Whoops. Cancel that order. Yeah, you just you know, have infinite ores no matter what, sort of thing. And they're fixed and they don't get mined out and all that sort of stuff. Right. So, that's probably too many, isn't it? Let's go and top this up. See while they work on working it for me. Here's the cover up to it. That's 1, 2. 2. No. Fine. I found Tectonica a bit confusing, but it seems nice, so I'll keep going someday. Yeah. They had some interesting mechanics in it. They just didn't really, they didn't really explain anywhere. Which, one of which was that when you oh, is that just a single chest? Let's let them do their business. When you build extra science cubes, as the fundamental thing of building science cubes, that how you build science is you make these cube things. That's an interesting idea. But having excess cubes is how you overclock your factory, so that's how you do speed modules, basically. So if you just keep building more and more and more, then your factory gets faster and faster and faster. It's a really interesting idea, because then you sort of weighing off, particularly early game, if there's some science that's going to take quite a while, do you unlock sciences in order to have that science and reduce your amount of overclocking, or do you leave it? But I mean, it didn't really explain it at all, basically. But also, I quite like the idea of undoing sciences, so you can walk the tech tree back, and if you want to go up a different branch. So it's all got some really interesting concepts to it, but say it doesn't really explain anything. And how the power worked was all a bit up. So if we just flip to that mode, it should be able to do it anyway. Out. There. Maybe. Surprised if the stuff is here. Let's see if we like the nibbling pollution. So that. In fact, why don't I zoom in? Check round. Use the power of statulites. Keep forgetting that that's a thing. Yes, yeah. Let's put that here a bit. Fill this in. That's everything. There. Oops. Really? Oh. Whoops. It's randomly bombed. Empty space. Guess if we can let's pull these up. Back to t'other one. That mode again. That. Can I do? Again. It's a bit janky, this, isn't it? The way it's they've done this, but Yeah, why have you not got power? That's good. Why are you not on power? Oh, because there's no... Oh, I've copied the wrong thing. Why is that randomly so... Yeah, because that was not... Yeah. So I have to take... So it should be there. Right, what were we doing? Okay. Amazingly, I got distracted again. Well, that never happens. Never been distracted. Okay. Where did I put the other artillery? Oh, here we go. Ooh. It's not going to fire that rock. I don't really even know I've got that rock. Cool. Yeah, anything you could can shoot at that you couldn't shoot at before. Except that, we need to go into that mode. So, isn't there something? Here we go. Put something in there. My sea of biters. Oh, okay, so that should keep them calm for a while. Okay. Let's head home. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to rip off the band-aid basically. Just obliterate the old base, but let's see what we can build beforehand. Right, so get that. You don't have the others in you. So much artillery. I could literally wipe out every biter on this planet, but I don't have the way it means to deliver them. That don't really need the rail, so that's fine. Okay. Just let the bots do their thing. How have you managed over here, guys? Yeah, mostly there. Just a few bits of woods and trees and etc. Okay. Let's see about... building some stuff then. Oh, that's solid fuel. Rocket fuel on the bus then. On that belt. I don't know. Because what we could do, we could take out sulfur. This pipe can all go. So, I just sort of disconnect everything. Stop fiddling about. Move all of that. Need to keep the coal mining bits. Let's see if we can keep the copper for a little bit. Get rid of that. Didn't I? Yeah. It's the wrong way around. Okay. How full are all these chests? Oh, we got loads of room. Okay. What I'm thinking, basically, is the intermediates. I'll run a, like a belt over and, belts over and kind of make some of those. So, like gear wheels, but then we'll probably stick them in chests and we'll do bots after that, if that makes sense. So, I might make these super basic ones. Maybe not the big ones, but, the big one I need to do lube on, so you have to send pipes around and do that anyway. But circuits and stuff are coming in. So do I just make engines and stuff locally? Makes the most sense. And some of the higher level ones, as I say, we're getting in by a train anyway, so I think that's all fine. So let's set up some production of them. So maybe sticks I make locally where I need them. Gear wheels are sufficient volume that I can say load in machines. So let's do that. So if we imagine that, we'll end up with, let's say, it's what maybe we have some belts coming this way, basically. crossbow here. Should I try and do it with green assemblers? Because that's what I'm going to do anyway. Oops. I think maybe... Yeah. I can put them in a... In fact, have I got orders for it? I haven't. Requesters. Let's get orders for requesters on. Yeah, we just put these in chests for now. But we have the option of belting it. That ends up making a bit more sense. So, before then, consume. Yes, that's more than transport. That's right, isn't it? Can I put prods on this? I can. Static 0.8. I wonder if one swapped in speed might make us turn into a belt from too much. Those. It's about of iron then. Probably should do stacks. Cool. So if that's a belt, so that needs a belt of iron, basically. And then, if we were to try and make, say, how was it actually producing? 0.6 of a belt. That's probably about right. What I want to do. So we'll put that there. Login network. So, when we run, if there are less than, and they stack to 100, don't they? So, 1,000. So, let's have. There. So we can always output it on a belt in the middle. Right, so if we then make, say, single cylinder engines, because they need gear wheels as well, don't they? Single and multi, basically. So we would want single. What I'm thinking is maybe essentially. Turn my box on. So if you were making them, what's your production volume? So you need 0.417, so it's almost all of that belt, isn't it? I wonder if maybe... Am I up stacks? Do you need stacks? Quite quick in this, I think. So this would then be a second belt. Although that's only a third of a belt, okay? So that's fine. And then... And you need switching to, let's call it 500. Oh, no, that's wrong. Four belts worth. 3. Okay. So if we have, say, actually a little bit better. It's a third belt line. Because I can always add more trains. This was the sort of point of this. It was meant to be more, you know, push more trains that way. So we can always bring more iron plate in. Okay. Does that make sense? Does it? So maybe... Because I need them for... What do you use? Yeah, you use gear wheels as well, but you'll also use engine. And that needs steel plate actually rather than iron plate. Okay. Okay. Those do need... They need gear wheels as well. Those don't. So if I then built... Let's see. Maybe... Above it? Oh, of course I'm reading that. Them. Let's put them as well. So if you become the multi-cylinder, you also need steel, okay? And gear wheels, right. Oh, but how much do you need? You need 0.04, so not really. Let's pump it out 0.4. Actually, better if this was taller. Just sort of steel coming in there at some point. And wait, they didn't need iron plate, did they? I just put... What was the other thing they needed then? Oh, they do need gear wheels. It's on the side, isn't it? Would you expect to not have a space-specific resource in Space Age? I just think it's such a nice idea. Nice thing. It also gives space platforms a third great purpose. I think it's a distinct possibility that there isn't an exclusive resource up there. I, you know, the reason I sort of proposed it, I think it would be a really cool thing that there's some exclusive resource up there. It wouldn't surprise me if it's more that it's a great way of getting a particular type of thing, basically. So if that's going there, so it's it's more that you can get extra holmium and extra uranium and the rarer, more difficult resources. Maybe they're available via asteroids. The difficulty with that is there's this locking thing of resources to the planets, and that would seem to contradict that. If you could just fly a space platform around and gather more holmium, then it would then seem a bit weird that you could only process and use that holmium on Falgora. So I don't think they'll do that. It would also make it quite complicated. You've got really quite complex logistics chains then, if you're having to transport it to Falgora and away from Falgora and all that sort of stuff. So I think it's probably more likely that the rare resources it gives you or rarer resources are like copper and things like that. So basically iron is just ridiculously abundant, but then it's copper, sulfur, maybe uranium that are difficult to get, but you can get them out of asteroids because they're sort of bonus resources. Because that's what they said, why they've taken green circuits out of rockets is because copper's difficult to get from asteroids. So it feels like that's probably where it'll sort of end up. So the steel's coming in there, the engines are there, the gears there, so we don't really need these. So yeah, that's sort of what I'm feeling is the reality of it. I still think it'd be really cool if there is a properly exclusive resource. And I say that would make more sense than having holmium in a way, because of that complexity. That the only way you could get this super duper rare resource is via the asteroids. Yeah, so you've got plenty of net going on there. Cool. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if there isn't an exclusive one. I think carbon might be just really abundant, and that's effectively the exclusive resource. As I said, I think it's just probably adding just a bit too much to do an extra one, and that they'll simply say, right, well, the only way you can get carbon is via asteroids, and that's it, sort of thing. Even though you could make carbon in all sorts of other ways, but yeah, it'd be sort of interesting to see how that all shakes out. Probably not enough of them, but we'll see. Anyway, we need to put a condition on these. I don't think they ended up being particularly highly used, but oops. Do we? I think one of the things that I'm sort of hoping is that there becomes a, like a Bob's or an Angel's version of Space Age that has more of these, that, because I think I've already said that of the Bobs and Angels. Angels was the most interesting to me because it had actual different sort of mechanics for producing things, whereas Bob's was just this. It was almost the definition of what I wasn't looking forward to in mods with just level 3 machines, level 4 machines, level 5 machines, level 6 machines, and it just being that ad nauseum. I'm kind of hoping they can take it and be right. Well, let's make the foundry different, properly different, and add in a second resource in on space on Volcanus, and 3 resources on Valgora, and so there's a logistics challenge to it as well. It's not just about find a patch, stick some all mines on it, and that they'll kind of expose all of that stuff in the modding API so that you can actually kind of do something with it in a mod. And that really, if you want all that level of complexity of 10 different resources in space, in asteroids, because that seems like a really, really easy way to give you a modder an extra way of getting resources, because it's got to simply be that effectively you blow up the asteroid, you get the resources via the grabbers, so there's no having to create different patches or worry about mining speed. You just add it on as a percentage to an asteroid blowing up chance, and it gives a whole raft of gameplay of building paths and stuff. Because one of the things, if you need to harvest asteroids, if that is part of the game proper and they're not just some hazard that is in the way as you travel between, and there is an actual asteroid, then it's kind of a very simple way of giving more complexity to, because there's then that risk reward thing of how long do you have your asteroid collector out there, given it might encounter enough mega asteroids that blow it up basically, and then it's just all your resources are gone. Because as I've said as we discussed before, we're not seeing how you would, if a collector does get blown up, how do you fly out to, or any platform gets blown up, how do you fly out to that platform to get it? Because at the moment, if some train gets stuck, I can just run there, or I can get in my tank, or I can get on a train and just go there and get the thing and fix it. But if it's out in space, are we expecting space lanes? Are they going to be actual equivalent of tracks and we can just drive down that track? Or how does that work? Because if it's out in the middle of space, what happens? I mean, I assume something similar to this, but I've obviously not got this, so I don't know. I'd like if they made space more important by having this. This is probably my primary question, apart from the mechanics introduced on Bacchus and Aquila. Waiting is boring there. Well, it's only 5 months. I mean, you only got 5 months to wait. And I'm sure we'll find out quite a lot of like the detail on Bacchus and Aquila quite a bit before. I don't think they'll leave too much of that till later. I say, I don't think there will be proper I don't think there will be an exclusive resource other than carbon on the space things in reality. I think it'd be great and it'd be fun, but I think it's just too much. Well, one of these things I would say as well, it is a unique mechanic when you think about how they've introduced unique mechanics in each area. The grabber arms and having to go around hoovering it up, and I mean, how do you set a schedule for going around and hoovering stuff up? Is a completely unique mechanic, so it would make sense for it to be that's one of your resource collection things. But I think we've already been told what that exclusive resource is, and it's just the carbon. And that maybe we'll get a way of making carbon, out of coal or trees or something like that. As a kind of a shop for for people who don't want to mess about with platforms too much, because it feels like it is going to be an expensive way of doing things. Okay. I'm relatively happy with that. They need gears. And they don't. Okay. So, they need copper wire and iron plate. Let's look at the maths of that. So, if you were making those instead. Yeah, why have you not built that? So I've run out of tape. Huh? So, how fast or slow are you? So you would be firing a quarter of a belt and 1.5. Wow, line copper cable. Okay. So maybe I have to think about that. A bit different. How much copper cable? Because I'm not botting over copper cable. So if this was prodded. 0.6 down. I wonder if speeds will help. Speed always helps. Actually, 0.13. I think that's going to be possible, isn't it? Just do that. So if you had copper, how much? So if each machine had a copper cable, then fine. Quarter of that, quarter of that. How much is this? This is producing an entire belt, isn't it? No, half a belt. So I could spot 2 of them. Okay, so if I move this over. Each of those has those. Maybe. Positioning a bit in those. Run it on again. What mess I've made there. So you need iron plate, but your mate doesn't. But you only produce. What did I end up with for that? 3 and 7. I think these are much more widely used. So that's quite nicely in that robot bunch. Okay. So that then is making half a belt. It requires half a belt, which is not basically all of that. Okay, that's fine. That's fine if you're gonna be like that. Just accept it. That's right either way. Why have you done this? Okay. So if that ended up going there, potentially, there, then let's imagine. What do you need? A big boy? Oh, it's green and lube, so it doesn't need copper cable separately. Okay. So if we go. Use one of them. Space. I do need to set some recipes and stuff, don't I? So we need to be thinking about those. That's what needs to be in there. Oops. No. Guess we can't undo thingy press. Oh, it's not. Okay, that's useful. So we get an iron plate from there. Or one of them anyway. There. So I think that one is... because that's using 0.3 of about... 5 about, so 0.8 of about... oh no. Yeah, 0.5 about, yeah. Okay, no problem. Yeah, so we need to give this... hang on. I'm wondering how I'm going to get the copper. I should move this up, really. Yeah, should be there. Anyway. That stuff. But, wait a minute. Where was that? Now it's over here. Yeah. I guess that means they've come back in here again. Oh, you can actually see them. Yeah, really need to sort the biters out. Okay. Hurry up, lads. Get on with it. Look lively, look lively. Considering we don't have any of the old... Did I set items in Factorio? You know, we don't have that many buffs, and you know, I've not set up any flamers or anything like that. I'm not doing too badly, given we've got behemoths appearing. But yeah, I need to build my proper defences and stuff. So they are starting to cause us some problems. I think. Should pick it up. So, So what else do you need? You need gear wheels. But you're going to need a little bit of a diversion. No? So what would be the... Yes? Mm. Okay. Yeah, actually... Yes. Okay. Now you're going to actually be the big boy engines. Okay. So it needs only 0.04. And they're making 9. That's fine. We also need steel and circuits. We had steel coming in here. So it's going to be like bot based. But I just don't see the point of when you're delivering entire belts worth of stuff. It's not necessarily all that beneficial to use bots. I am loving. So if maybe what we could do is somewhere we could feed circuits up or down. So maybe the circuits could come up here. Maybe the copper could be on the top as well. So this could potentially be circuits. What the heck is that? Oh, that's the dropped cargo from the bot. Cool. Right, so that would be green circuits. I'll just bring that up a bit, I guess. And then, but then you've got starving, is it? Let's have fun. That would make sense then. Right, so need to do loom there maybe, but let's get everything else. Stuff. I was thinking maybe we kind of double this up, but I remember how many things we needed. Oh. What's going on in that belt? Oh, have you had any epiphanies about the seemingly dropped pods on the Factorio planet with the number? I'll be totally honest, I'd completely forgotten about them. The graphic is... So, it turned out, and I did a bit of research after the video, the graphic itself was from... well, if you go back to like a really ancient Friday Facts, they were going to do a proper campaign. It was one of the reasons I've been saying about the, you know, the idea of, you know, a spaceship and all those sorts of things. Is what I really want them to do is add a proper campaign. So as in, you actually do, you know, it's a story. The end of the campaign version of the game is that you do launch a, you know, spaceship to get you home, and you go into cryo sleep. I was gonna, well, I've got so many video ideas, but they all take so long to do a video. It's almost it's almost insane. But they were going to do a proper campaign, and they started doing it, and it just sort of... The problem basically was that it didn't really add anything and was a heck of a lot of work, and they were reworking the tech tree and stuff, and it didn't really make a lot of sense, and so they basically abandoned it. But as part of that campaign rework, they did a bit of work to rework the graphics for the spaceship, and the pod that with the number. So the number is on the graphics. I've forgotten what the number was. Was it 0709 or something? I can't remember. Somebody said it might be, you know, 7th September or something. But that graphic and that pod was from that campaign rework. You know, blog post basically. You can go and see that. I can't remember what number it is, but yeah. That's where it originated from. And then what happened with... the reason I'd seen it, like, and I remembered it in the game, was because the Factorio dev, like, picked it up, basically, and used it as a extra piece of, you know, graphic on the crashed ship. Oh, I've not got any labs or anything, have I? Get some of them in. And used it in Factorio 2. So when you do the Factorio 2 campaign, the ship has those crashed pod things. What they're supposed to be in the context of the crash, I don't have a clue. It's a something that the engineer's ship has on it. What that something is, you know, not a clue, basically. I think stacks are probably over the top, aren't they? No, 6.5 a second. So that was the origin of it. Now, that could therefore be some kind of big meta hint that we are getting a campaign. You know, that there is going to be a campaign mode in Space Age, and so all my weird ideas about, you know, could they do this, could they do that, they'll actually be fitting into the campaign version of the game. This wanted iron plate. I don't know. I don't actually think that's what it'll be. I think they've just reused it maybe more as a placeholder than anything else. But if that is where it's coming from, you know, it's coming from the campaign, and you know, that's basically the origin of it, then, you know, what does that mean, basically? Does that mean that whatever purpose it was meant to serve, you know, on the ship is also the purpose of it, you know, in Space Age? Whatever they were thinking that, well, you know, when the artist was designing it, what did they have in mind as being, that's what this is? You know, is it some kind of capsule, or, you know, just, you know, what is it in terms of being part of the ship? What does that mean, as it were? But yeah, so that was the origin of it, and I say whether that gives any hints as to what it's for, what it's about, I don't know. But to me, the most likely thing is it's a placeholder graphic, basically. But again, a placeholder for what? That would be my biggest question. You know, fine, they've just reused that artwork. But it seemed like a very... well, it's like if it's a chest, we already got chests. You know, why would you use... You know, what other chest would you be adding? Where you would be replacing it with that weird art. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't sort of hang together as a... Oh, well, it's just another chest. Well, why, you know, why use a completely unrelated graphic for chests? So yeah, no, honestly, I've kind of forgotten about it, but yeah, I don't know. Given, I mean, the sort of safe bet, I guess, the safe guess, in a sense, is that they are the equivalent of these, you know, these cannon things here, basically, that, you know, it really is that you can fire cannon shells and you just stick some resources in and what have you. And it's simpler in, you know, in the main game compared to this, because, you know, this is meant to be more complicated, and that they just land on the planet and that's it. You know, you just pick them up from wherever you just designate a target, it drops them in, and they crash on the planet. Another thing is, it could be we don't really know, you know, how we're getting stuff down from space. You know, so that needs to be 3, which is a lot of money. So yeah, that could be the graphics for, you know, landing stuff on planets, I guess. That would seem a bit weird. I'd been given the impression, when they talked about it, that it's just magic teleporting they're going to do. You won't actually have anything that comes down from orbit or anything. To some extent, they might have learnt their lesson from the silo. It's sort of all great and well having the complicated animation, but if it takes 2 minutes to do, people just get annoyed at how slow it is. But yeah, I don't know. I think what was your thinking? I don't know if you had any ideas. Oh, I had no idea. I assume it's some random thing to mess with people, some place of the graphics, something. I think they're trolling us because they know our weakness. Oh, I'm pretty sure we're getting trolled on other things. It's just, and not in a mean way or anything, obviously. It's just, you know, a bit of fun, really, isn't it? Just to have something there, and people like me, you know, going mad and stuff. Start making up all sorts of bonkers ideas, and gets the engagement, gets the interest, etc., etc. So, yeah, I'm 100% sure we're being trolled in some things. The difficulty is kind of working out which ones are which, you know. Everything's up to you, isn't it? So, I think this was going to be... Do I just cut this off and we go for broke? I mean, if I'm doing that, why don't I just make this red belt up to the end? Might as well. Yeah, no, I think we're absolutely getting trolled on things. It wouldn't even surprise me if there's a Friday Facts plan for after release, which is all of the, well, this is what this actually was. This is what we were thinking about, and this is why we used this graphic as a placeholder, and why we didn't replace it. I like the blurred text that was end up. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I think, and part of that is almost like I'm playing on the whole. I don't know. Maybe they didn't expect someone to be able to unblur. When they did the planet names, they were like, "Oh, we didn't really expect that to happen." And then they're like, "Well, why don't we lean into that when we do something like that, the ender pearls thing?" And it's just a silly little game they're playing. Well, not silly, but it's just they're just playing the game basically. It's like, well, which is which here? This was the green circuits, wasn't it? Is that really only going to need half a bit? Not even half a bit. Oh. Yeah, I mean, yeah, same. I have no doubts at all that that's what's going on with some of them. Where's Steel? Steel's the last one. Helpless. Yeah. Wow. Bring me more, my beauties. Look at that stone. Here are the obvious super spoilers we gave you that you never understood. That would be fun. Well, somebody pointed out that they actually, the rocket turret. We also had the sort of big reveal, on the, when it was on the platform. But if you go back to all the way back, I think it was to when they were talking about the grabby arms. If you look at the very top of like the pictures where they showed these were the options we were considering for the grabby arms, that you can actually see the feet of the rocket turret. So that was ages ago. That was like the fourth, not just the fourth, but that was within the first couple of months of them restarting Friday Facts. That was there, and nobody spotted it. So there must be all sorts of stuff that's like, because some of it, it's like, there's an element of hiding it in plain sight, isn't there? Of, well, this is something we put there, and you just, because particularly with the space platforms, because you don't have a clue what any of it that you're looking at is, you don't really know whether it's a new thing or another thing. It's like, I had the one where I thought I'd seen something special with this weird line that was coming out, or it was basically the top of a substation. So when you have a substation, not get it to connect. There you go. So when it connects at that angle, oh, it's got a thing on it. But basically, the substation shadow was what I'd seen, and if you look at that, it looks like some sort of, like ray gun or something pointing into space, and it isn't. It's just a substation. But the thing is, it didn't have the wire out of it, which was the thing that had, I think, confused me, or just not twigged me as to what it was. There was no wire connected. And I say, I'd just seen the shadow of substation and thought, Oh, is that some secret reveal of a new space cannon or something? No, it's just a substation shadow that was on the edge of the thing. So yeah, you never know. You know, is that something real, or have I just misunderstood that? Or, well, they put it there and you can't see it. And like, I didn't spot when it had. I don't know if you remember, there was that when they do the slidey diagram, and it was when he was doing. You know, Yondor was saying about the dunes, and you had to if you slid the afterwards one right across, there were like those icons of the buildings, and I didn't spot them at all because you're just not looking in that area, and they're blatantly obvious when you're sliding it about. But if you're not looking in the right place at the right time, as you do it, you know, as you're messing about with it, then you're just not going to see it. Yeah, that was. It's quite funny seeing that rocket turret feet, and it was like, oh, okay. Right, so your green circuits at the top. Cool. Wait, why do I think that's the one around? No, that is still. Oh yeah, that foundation sure is visible. Hard to know what it would be or if it's just part of the space platform itself, perhaps. As Tonya said, I bet it's tough to not accidentally spoil some things when doing the Friday Facts, yeah. I don't know if they have had anything that wasn't like planned. So, because I'm kind of assuming that a lot of the things that are being revealed aren't accidents in a sense. It's not, you know, they're not leaks. They're just, right, well, you know, we'll just have this teaser in there and get people, you know, speculating about it and that sort of thing. So it's not that they're being leaked. It's just that. We'll do that for now. Actually, 1 to 3 on it, but I probably need to bring in more. Or should I just upgrade this so it's just, it is absolutely going to eat through trains and trains. It feels like a second train would be better. Yeah, we'll do that. So, but yeah, it'd be funny, as you say, to find out what, you know, what they'd hidden for us to find, and we all just completely, you know, didn't see it. And they're like, well, there must be some things where they're like, well, I think that rocket turret was almost one of them. It's deliberately hard to see what it is, so it's you know, proper Easter egg, as it were. But there must be others that they think, right, well, you know, we want to reveal this thing so that, you know, people start speculating about the right thing for this Friday Facts we're going to do in the future. But then then nobody spots it, and you're like, okay, well, I guess we maybe need to do it again. So that people actually see it, you know. Things need to become UV Just want to test it out really before I see what I've messed up. I'm curious what is left to develop apart from bugs, art, assets, etc. Like, are there gameplay things and important aspects of the two last planets left to finalise? Yeah, I don't know. You would assume that they have everything finished, as in designed, as it were, and it's really just about like optimization, as you say, bug fixes, playtesting to make sure it's balanced, and all that stuff. But yeah, be fascinated to know if they are still, because the generic, you know, like the pink, I don't know, I can't remember what you call them, but they're like the pink icons that you can use to make more generic blueprints, where you can replace, you know, this X with, oh, I think they're numbered, aren't they? Like 0 becomes a copper plate and 1 becomes a gear, and you can use it to switch out between different recipes much more easily, sort of stuff. I got the impression that that was added literally like a couple of weeks. The way it was written, it was like, I just come up with this idea. What do you think, almost? Yeah, and that perhaps that was, you know, an extra feature being added. Which, as I say, I was sort of under, you know, thinking that it would basically be feature complete, and that, you know, when they started doing the blogs. But it sounds like maybe not, you know. So yeah, I wonder when they do have the cutoff, because they've given this, and maybe that's why it's not an official announcement of the date. Maybe it's you know, a soft reveal of it, as it were, because actually they're still adding things to the game and they don't really know when it's going to be finished. Because, as I said before, art and things like sound and stuff like that are massively difficult, complicated, time-consuming to put in. So every time they add a feature, unless it really is just a tweak or a, you can imagine like the way logic works being a, should we say, relatively easy from an art point of view thing to do. You know, so when they've changed the way combinators work so that they actually work more like programming, that's like changing the logic in the game, and is a programmery type change rather than excessive amounts of artwork needed. Obviously it needs new GUI, etc, but depending on how they've set it up, that could well be built by the, you know, the programmer that implements it, rather than requiring dozens of new animations and assets and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, it really depends on, you know, how quickly they think they can finish everything off. You know? But also then playtesting, how much actual sort of final playtesting. And if we are getting massive, and I'd say this is why I think Bacchus was, well, Bacchus is called, was delayed, because oops, perhaps the artwork isn't quite ready, you know, and they didn't want to put it out there and have everyone go, oh, I think that looks horrible, or I think that's rubbish, or because that's always going to be the big risk with doing that. You know, that's almost the problem they had with the music. It wasn't that it's bad in any sense. Why have you got no... Jeez. Horrible errors about that. So that's going... I guess it's because it's filling the chests first. Not made a single one. Seems a bit odd. I guess they would grab the first ones. make sense. Yeah, I mean, I'm not feeling enough iron, which I knew. Yeah, gear's not coming in. Fill that first, really. It's all fine and dandy. Might actually be better wiring those up. In one of the recent Friday Facts, they also mentioned something like, so what do you guys want to fix as one of the first things in Space Age? And that was the beacons. Oh, really? Interesting. Oh, yeah, so, yeah, talking to Aaron, or yeah, saying that. Yeah, so that was probably like a late decision to kind of change that. Interesting. Looks like I probably ended up with a lot of engines sat around, which is going to be the problem with this. Should really be maybe buffers, maybe? But yeah. Once I deconstruct the base, hopefully they'll start pulling them in. I also wonder if they refer to the Factorio lore in the game, apart from having the ancient buildings there. In the Afraid Effects, we got quite a good description, but without any text or voiceover. Expected to just be inferred from the existence of the buildings. Yeah, it is a radical addition, there, isn't it? Of some sort of lore of there were aliens in this system. You know, we've not seen anything that about how that'll be in the game. My assumption was that it would just be there, and you would just, you know, there wouldn't be any kind of, you know, as you say, ancient scrolls that you could read, or you know, something like that to say, well, what's happened, what's gone on here? Oh, there's a missing debris. You know, what happened to these aliens? You know. I mean, the whole bit about the... I mean, I do wonder if when you first land on a planet, it'll do like it does the pop-up when you start the game, where it says, you know, you've just crashed on the planet, you know, build a rocket to get off, as it were. I actually wonder if there'll be an equivalent, you know, so the whole slow reveal of the aliens was more for us, you know, as for the Friday Facts, rather than anything else, and instead what they'll do is they'll crash you right where the, you know, where the buildings are, and say, I think this, you know, planet was occupied by aliens and blah blah blah, which say it's kind of getting into the territory of how I thought the campaign would work. Yeah, it looks like I've got loads and loads of new chests already. I didn't think that many. So we need lube, which, so we're nearly at 6 o'clock. I think will be my last little job for today. That up. Where were they kept? Well, I'm not going to need like a million gallons and stuff. Except saying that, at some point I've got to take it to space, haven't I? Some way or form. Probably just a stack of effective armor. Bacon it. Just do that. Yeah, I don't know. This. In fact, at some point I'm going to have to take that blue belts, aren't I? So maybe this is kind of the... If I take that there, that's where I need to build blue belts. So. Don't put any lights on it. Bad show. Yes. It's kind of bonkers, actually, how much they've revealed, and yet how much we still don't know. You know, as you say, we've discovered that there's lore in the game. I mean, how big is that? But we know nothing really about it. What they're going to do with it, if anything. Is it just flavour? Is it just colour? You know, any of those sorts of questions. But at the same time, we know nothing about new enemies. Nothing at all. We literally had one definite teaser and a possible thing where maybe there's a tease that perhaps, yeah, that very, very first tease with the 3 buildings, perhaps those are different biters. And that's it. You know, that's basically all we've had in terms of information about biters. And yet they're a massive part of the game. But yeah, and we've, you know, I mean, there's got to be more on Volcanus and Folgora than Foundry, a big mining drill, a EM plant, and a recycler. It can't just be that. So yeah, it's like so much we don't know, and yet so much they've told us. It's kind of bonkers, really. It'd be interesting to see how long it actually does take to play through your first playthrough, because I know the sort of 50-hour thing is kind of a, you know, time to beat, but you know, it's been estimated. But it took me way longer to beat the first game the first time because of all the restarting. You know, I think pretty much every new player, first time they play, they'll, you know, do a lot of restarting. If you add all of that up, I think it must have been like 200 hours or something before I beat the game. So I think all of these are working. So some of them are stopped like way earlier because there's no stuff, and I think I probably need to wire them up rather than do the general logistics thing. But yeah, they're all running, I think. Cool, okay. So this is the type of thing I'm doing, and then the idea is that it puts the intermediates either in, you know, because we're delivering via train or what have you, and then I'll just do sort of boring bot builds basically to make all of the stuff. So I mean, some of the belts and stuff will be a bit more complicated, but vast majority is going to be a storage chest and a requester, or maybe 2 requesters if it's mad heavy recipe. Vast majority of it is going to just be that. So yeah, these are a bit more interesting, I think. So it's just that thing of bulk move. It's usually a bit better via belts. Right then. Just thinking about that yesterday, the odds should be that the coolest stuff is left to us. Yeah, I mean, people, I think, misinterpreted it slightly, but Spidertron was something they mentioned way back in the, you know, before I even started playing the game. So, you know, Spidertron was like the, you know, we'd love to do this thing, and they did one blog post of like a concept of it. It used inserter arms as the legs, it was a really freaky thing. But it was on a Friday Facts, and then it went completely silent. And when they actually like talked about it or whatever, it was, they basically said that because they had so much to do, they just sort of backburnered it and were like, well, we'd still like to do it, but maybe we'll never get there. And so they stopped mentioning it because you don't want to promise something's in the game without it being there. And then of course at the end, literally, I don't even think it was mentioned in the Friday Facts. It was literally, here's version 1.0, and oh, there's Spidertron, and such a massive part of the game. Nowadays that's basically the end game travel system and weapon system and all that sort of stuff. It's like, well, it's just appeared in the game without much ceremony. Oh, hello, Asky Raven. So Reneva Spider-Man got a reskin with how the rocket turret looks. And hi, by the way. Hello. I'm afraid goodbye. I'm just wrapping up. Don't know if you're in there, but yeah, I don't know. I said on the Friday Facts, the rocket turret looks a little better than the Spidertron, I think. But I don't know. It may just be recency bias and sort of looking at something in more detail, more scrutiny than just quickly glancing at it. But yeah, it does look like it's had a little bit of a glow up, the turret. Way better in your opinion. Yeah, so I mean, obviously it's got more stuff on it. It's got the what do they call it, pintle mount, the thing that turns it round and all that sort of stuff, and the base of it looks really really sturdy, as you'd expect, because it's probably been riveted into the ground. So yeah, it does look awesome. And I'd say, yeah, I wonder if Spidertron will just get a little bit of a tweak and to make them a bit more consistent. Right, so yes, so that's it for today and for this week. We'll be back next week with exactly the same, more space exploration. I will do my best to... I will probably be playing this at some point, during the week, just because I am still enjoying it, which is quite amazing, really. And I particularly... I guess that what I was going to say with the doing the best is I'll try and clear out the biters, basically, so that they're, not much of an issue, or maybe try and do the military stuff and all that. But I kind of need to get all of that, this whole bot build done, the production area. Well, just the way it has to expandable rocket pods on the side rather than rocket pod on the back, I guess. Just that looks much better, in my opinion. Yeah, it does. Yeah, I do like the side pods, and maybe they will add that to Spidertron. It does that did make me wonder whether it has like twice the rate of fire, but I don't think it does. I think it just alternates between them in the animation. But yeah, I mean, I really like Spidertron, the way they come out the top and sort of effectively sort of come down. Yes, so yeah, that's it for stream. Talking about streams. And basically we will just keep going, as I've said before, until the point I get bored on this. Yeah, so that's that. So the other thing I usually promote as well, if you're new to the stream, is I have a YouTube channel. It should be linked on the side there, and I post every week. Well, there's all the VODs for all these series and all my other Factorio series, of which there's loads now. But also games like Satisfactory, Tectonica, Dyson Sphere Program. But what I usually plug is that I do a read through every week of the Friday Facts, but I also speculate about if there's like Easter eggs and stuff like that, and try and give a bit more context on what things mean. I think a lot of the YouTubers that do commentary videos and that, they've not got background in programming and things like that, whereas I do a little bit. Never consider myself to be as well experienced as the proper devs, but I do know a little bit about some of these things that they're talking about, so I try and explain some of that stuff. But also, as I say, do a lot of speculation about what what we might be seeing and what it might mean and what else it might mean and sort of stuff. They're a huge amount of fun to do, as well as just a special plug as well. I do some occasional wild speculation videos. Most recently, I did 2 on science. they're not done as well as I'd hoped. It was a bit of an experiment because it was 2 videos basically launched at the same time, so it's probably not surprising that the algorithm has not known what to do with that, to be frank. But if you've not seen them, then they are listed on my YouTube channel. And if that's the sort of thing you like from me, then do check them out. So yes, I'll call it all right, after you end, check audio. It seems a bit broken. Might be my PC earbuds. Do you mean my audio? Okay. Yeah, check. Seems a bit broken. Okay, I will watch the playback. I'm using these, and it's been a bit weird for me, because I have a lot of problems with the headphones because, particularly these. Well, I'll try and show you. So, I don't know if this will come up on the camera. See if I can see. But what happens is the audio could be messed up as well because I've completely switched desk, and it did sound strange to me when I was doing the edit. But I don't know if you can see this. You see this colouring there? What happens with headphones is basically my sweat is acidic, and it eats away at things that are plastic and stuff like that. So I have to replace like headband headphones at a ridiculous rate. And so I was hoping to use like in ears, but audio is a bit weird for me because I can hear myself more, and it's a bit strange. But so it could be something to me. It sounds good, but I'm not an audiophile. Okay. Microphone. Okay. I'll have a listen back and see if it is. But as I say, it's very difficult for me to tell because of my whole setup change and the different audio. So yeah, I will try and see if that is something that is problematic. Anyway, yes. So basically, if you have been watching, hope you enjoyed it, and you might consider coming back for another one. I've been Trismegistus. This has been Factorio. Thanks for watching. Cheers.